contact details. And I'm now moving on to taking question and answers. I see a lot of people already messaging in saying, thank you, nice presentation. You're really welcome. I hope it helped for all of you. And I can see that there are a lot of questions as well. So I'll start reading questions. In case I skip any question, probably it's because I might have given an answer to that question already, or probably because the theme is overlapping. So if I don't answer a particular question, really don't feel bad. If you think you want to discuss anything in person, you kind of can contact the Motherhood Hospital or contact me. That's not a problem. So starting to take questions here. Someone's Bhavna says, my daughter is 2.5. She can't distinguish red and green. Is it normal or colorblind? Ma'am, I think if you should go in for an ophthal evaluation, meet an ophthalmologist, meet a pediatrician, find out if organically something is wrong. If nothing is wrong with the eyes, if there's no color blindness or anything like that, then definitely you should meet a pediatrician who can probably give you some tips about development and look into it. And even then, if it's not probably solved, you can meet any mental health professional close by to where you stay, or you can get in touch with me. But I think if you're raising an issue and you have a doubt whether it's normal or colorblind, it's really necessary for you to meet an ophthalmologist and get it checked. It can be checked. So I think you should get it checked. The second question here is by Miss Valarmati. Having twins, can't maintain them alone during this pandemic period. Yes, ma'am, it's really very difficult with twins, with having two children who are, just 1 or 2 years apart. I understand it's really difficult during the pandemic. You can't go out, you can't take them to the park, you can't take them cycling, they don't have friends to play. It's really very difficult. What I think you should probably do is, as they're twins, they can be buddies for each other for playtime. So kind of engage them with lot of play. If you have family support, try to see if another family member can support you. Maybe you can get a break. Your spouse can take one child cycling and the other child. I'm not sure how old your twins are, ma'am, but I think you should probably split responsibility between various family members and take down the burnout you're having during this pandemic time. Another question here by Harsha. Hello, ma'am. My baby is 3 months old. Can you please tell me what can I introduce books to him? Is it okay to do it? No, Harsha, not okay to do it. The child, when the child is 3 months old, maybe until the child is 1.5 or 2 years old, needs a lot of one-on-one time with parents and grandparents, or whoever family members you have, with sibling or whoever it is. You have to spend a lot of time talking one-on-one, face-to-face. Engage the child in a lot of social communication and speech, because that is what is very, very crucial, and that is what develops in the first year of life. Please don't introduce the child to any kind of books or screen. The child still won't be able to look or understand what is there in the books or screen, but the child needs a lot of hugging, bonding, singing. In fact, many parents also ask me, can I play music? My child really loves music. No. Why do you want to play music? For the child, a mother's voice or a father's voice or a grandparent's lullaby is actually the most beautiful song ever. So please don't resort into gadgets and social media looking for music for young children. You do it. It's fine if you don't know how to sing. Every mom, every dad, it comes to us naturally as part of human evolution. Please do it by yourself. Engage your child socially, and that is really good for the child's communication. The next question is, how can we recognize and control hyperactive kids? Like I said, maintain a routine, spend a lot of time scheduling their activity, know their limitation. If the child can sit only for 10 minutes, if you push the child to sit for half an hour, the child is going to have a lot of behavioral issues. Don't do that. Understand the limits of your child. Make the child first get used to sitting for 10 minutes, and then you can slowly step it up. Right? So you can recognize if your child, according to the age, compared to the peers, is not able to do activities in a focused manner and is very frequently distracted, or there are complaints from the school, or there are complaints from other children that your child is fighting or very frequently gets distracted or is not able to follow rules of the game and all these things, right? That is how we recognize in probably kids who are like at least 3 to 10 years of age. All right. Do you think online classes during pandemic is actually affecting our children in a bad way? To be honest, less than 5 years, already online classes are not happening. Less than fifth standard, now again government has stopped that as well, which I think is okay. Many schools were actually having only half an hour to 1 hour of online session. But if your child is older than that, I think the schools are also at a stress of finishing academics and all that. It's necessary for you to teach your child how. I mean, if you have an older child, it's necessary for you to teach your child to keep up even with the physical health, because they're sitting down and doing so much of academic work in front of the screen. They frequently get up, they get some exercise, they eat healthy food, they move a lot when they are in between two sessions, they kind of get up and have a walk around the house. So all of these things have to really be kept in mind. If it's affecting your child in a bad way for older adolescents, I'm not in a position to comment. I honestly don't think so, because there is also the pressure of academics. But it will affect your child if you give your child more screen time other than online classes. So many times adolescent parents tell me, my child is attending online class from 9 to 2. After that, he or she will eat food, and again from 4 o'clock till 10 o'clock in the night, she watches TV or spends time on the mobile phone. No, sorry, that cannot happen. That will definitely affect your child, and it's going to impact all domains of your child's performance and development, right? My child is 3 months old. For how long should he sleep? He was born in the 36th week. He sleeps for 1 to 2 hours only. No, Harsha, I don't think 1 to 2 hours of sleep is okay for any child. A child who's 3 months old should sleep for at least 17 to 18 hours in a day, or at least more than 14 hours in a day. Even if your child was born in the 36th week, 36 weeks is just a little preterm, but not really that bad. I hope your child does not have any medical issues, but please consult your pediatrician if you think really your child is sleeping only for 1 to 2 hours, something your pediatrician must definitely look at. Even if I engage them in coloring pictures, one kid does something, one simply tells my hand is paining, do for me, not interested. That's okay. That's absolutely okay. Don't worry. Valarmati, if you can give me some more idea about how old your kids are, I will be able to give you better tips. How old are your twins? Please let me know. Ma'am, my daughter is 6 years old. She's super active, never sits in one place, but got complaint from her school saying she writes ulta and less concentration. Is this normal? No, not normal. One more thing, she always insists to watch ghost stories. I feel sometimes this is weird. Um, See, there's nothing weird or not weird. Children just develop things as a habit or what they do frequently, right? So watching ghost stories, horror stories, I already mentioned this, a lot of kids do that. First, stop screen time because your child is just 6 years old. Second, when you stop screen time, automatically bring in a lot of other activities during the day so that the child learns to sit and concentrate. If the school is also complaining, then definitely it's something you must look into, and it's a good time to look into, because once your child gets into primary school and advances in classes, this issue will become more and more complex. So I think your child probably might have some bit of attention issue or hyperactivity which needs further assessment. Please meet your pediatrician or a mental health professional, or you can contact me, of course. Yeah. How to manage it? Like I said, lot of behavioral intervention. All the strategies which I have said works for children with attention problems and hyperactivity. Only thing is, with them you need to have a more structured routine, lesser time for them to focus, because their distraction is very quick. And don't punish them for it, because they're not doing it purposely. They're doing it because their brain is not able to do it beyond 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 5 minutes or 2 minutes. After half a page of writing, your child is distracted. But that's not because your child is naughty, or your child wants to give you reasons, but it's just because your child has not developed the ability to focus. All right. How these issues are to be sorted in rural areas? Ravi Shankar ji, I don't think I have given any tips which cannot be done in a rural home. In fact, in rural areas, I think it's much more easy to solve these problems, because I am assuming in rural areas there are more people to handle these issues, lot of family support system, parents don't get burnt out, and it's more easy to handle these issues in the rural areas, because you don't need any kind of resources to handle behavioral problems. Again, any kind of resources reminds me of one thing: don't stock up toys for your children. They don't need all the sophisticated complex toys which are in the market for all kinds of developmental milestones which they have to achieve. Get innovative, do creative things at home, instead of buying a toy, instead of buying a rattle, what you can probably do is pick a small bottle, a copper bottle or a steel bottle, just fill it up with normal tur dal, and give it to your child, and the child starts shaking it, it makes the sound of a rattle. You don't have to really buy these things. So these behavioral interventions and dealing with developmental problems are actually easy in rural areas. All right, so it can be done, very easily can be done. My elder daughter is in 10th standard, working very hard, but lost all answers, especially exam time. Yes, Miss Veena ji, I think it's because your daughter has anxiety about exams. Even though it might not be really bad, even a little amount of anxiety kind of brings down performance. However, in many children, some amount of anxiety can improve performance as well, right? So what probably is necessary is for her to have multiple revisions before going to the exam, not sit till late night before the exam. Spend more calmer and deeper time on the previous day of exam, because you have to make sure she's prepared already. Many times parents tell me, she's in 10th standard, 12th standard, why should I help? But understand, like I said, even at 15 years, these children are really very innocent. Even though they have anger issues, they fight with us, it is because they love us, because we love them, and that's how development happens. So you need to give them support even when they are as old as 9th or 10th standard, if not academically, at least some kind of moral support. My daughter has uncontrolled breath holding spells. Rupa ji, can you please tell me how old is your daughter? Because breath holding spells can just be something non-organic in very young children, but it can also be seizures, which has to be seen by a pediatrician. So can you please tell me how old is your child? And if your child is less than 2 or 3 years of age, please go to a pediatrician. Breath holding spells have to be seen, and pediatrician or a neurologist for that matter. It can be managed easily, but you must see somebody to differentiate whether it's just breath holding spells or the child is having seizures of any form. Again, parents, please understand that seizures are not only the kind of seizures which you see in movies. Seizures can happen in many different ways. There are more than 8 or 10 different types of seizures which can be there in children. So please meet your doctor. It's necessary for them to see your child. Or probably what you can do is take a video when your child is having a breath holding spell, and when you go to meet the doctor, show this video so that the doctor has a better idea of what he or she is looking at. Is there any chance hyperactive children damage property? Yes, Dr. Sudeep, I think they can damage property, not intentionally, but younger children kind of throw the remote, break windows. I have had an adolescent who was 17 years old who kicked the windows with his leg, and he had a laceration in his leg, and the window broke, all his house doors were damaged, and a lot of such issues. It is possible. It's just because of their impulsivity, and impulsivity is a component of ADHD, and it can happen, but it can also be managed with behavioral intervention. So it's not necessarily in the sense that they're antisocial and damaging property, but yes, it can happen. My elder daughter, when she was in first, second standard, full marks, but when she turned one by one high standard, she's not able to concentrate. Ma'am, please look for any kind of distractions. Peer influence, not scored good marks. Probably she might have a very mild attention issue which has come up in higher grades. Please look for any attention and concentration difficulties. Please see if you can stop screen time, because screen time is a major distraction and it can also impact attention and concentration. All right, so it's very important for you to look at this problem in various angles. It's not because she doesn't want to study, but I think there's an underlying issue going on, maybe with respect to distractions, with respect to school, or maybe it's just plain attention issue, which has to be looked at. All right. um yeah. Ma'am, I am a PG degree holder, not working, taking care of kids, so being at home. But even though can't make them learn, they're not sitting to study. Yeah, Valanmati ma'am, I think you kind of seem to be burnt out. It's really very necessary because you have kids, you have twins, and you really need some kind of support. It would be useful if I can talk to you personally and look at your daily routine and see how I can help you, because you clearly seem to be burnt out. If you need help, please, I'm happy to help you, because you're saying you are getting short temper and your children like mobile devices. Yeah, mobile devices, because most of the children like mobile devices. It's not only your kids, because it's more engaging. There's a lot of music, color is changing, animation characters which are very appealing to the children. So it's not your fault that they are liking mobile devices. Please do not blame yourself for it. I understand. It's this is the pattern of burnout. So please don't worry. We can help you. All right. Uh, Moving on to the next question. Consistently link reward with performance of behavior. Won't children get used to rewards? Yes, yes, absolutely. They will get used to rewards. So rewarding will be something which the child wants. So rewarding should not be something which you're bribing. So you say you get good marks, I'll buy you a cycle. No, it doesn't work that way. It has to be something very, very simple. Like, let's say your child said, I want to go to my friend's house during the weekend. Say, yes, we can go to your child is asking, take me to grandmother's house. Yeah, I will take you to grandmother's house in the weekend if you do this good behavior during the week. If your child is younger, rewards can actually be something like giving a golden star, or allowing your child to eat one candy a day. So rewards need not necessarily be used all the time. It depends. Some children don't respond to rewards, some children respond to rewards. So look at what kind of strategies work with your child. Rewarding again and again, yes, it will become a habit, and it is harmful also. Yes, good point. Due to COVID-19, digital learning is going on. How about screen time for such kids, especially at nursery level? Ma'am, if you're still saying that in spite of the government saying less than 5th standard, no online, please contact your school. I don't think your school is following rules given by the government, because these rules were formed after a discussion with experts at NIMHANS. I'm aware of this because this is the same, these are all the same mentors who taught me when I was training at NIMHANS. So it's necessary for us to respect what experts have decided and follow. Please talk to your school about this. How to reduce screen time gradually, because my son will not have his meal without mobile. Yes, yes, please reduce screen time gradually. Maybe today, if you're giving your child for 15 minutes, tomorrow do it 13 minutes, day after tomorrow do it for 10 minutes. 2 weeks down the line, tell your child that your mobile battery is gone. 3 weeks down the line, tell your child your mobile got lost, or do whatever, but tell your internet went off or your Wi-Fi is not working. Engage your child using lot of social stories. See, this is what is very important. The moment you take out screen time, it's very necessary for you to engage your child in equally interesting alternative ways, right? Unless you engage your child in alternative ways, your child is going to go into boredom, right? So your child will say, I'm bored, I don't know what to do. And in their mind, the easiest thing which they think about is screen time, because that is what they're used to. All right. So it's not like your child cannot eat without a mobile. It's just become a habit. So whatever is learned can also be unlearned. It's okay for some children. I have seen somebody says TV ke toitu, or the TV got repaired, and the child is absolutely fine. Even if the child had 10 hours of screen time, they adapt very easily. But in some children, it takes more time. Doesn't matter. Be consistent. Be persistent. You can do it. It can happen. All right. How to teach kids without screen time, because nowadays kids learn from TV more than school time. Rupa ji, I think you should try to engage your child and teach whatever the TV is trying to teach them in case of younger kids. But if your child is older, I think they need some amount of screen time, because I understand a lot of schools have a lot of these projects and general knowledge based assessments which are going on, which are not really avoidable. But try to see that the screen time for older kids above 10 years of age is also less than 1 hour in a day. All right. I'm working with children and I'm a parent too. My child is in 4th grade. If my child's school is restarting online classes, I will not be able to deny that. So any precautions to protect her cognitive development? If your child is in 4th grade, I'm assuming cognitively the child is already fine. If the school is restarting online classes and if you want to go ahead with it, that's okay. But like I said, please do not give any additional screen time during the rest of the day, and engage your child in a lot of physical activity, and engaging your child in household engaging your child along with you in household chores. How to manage 2-year-old girl in this COVID situation? See, you don't need any real big tips to manage young children or even older children. What you probably have to do is engage your child with you. All right. You don't have to take out your time, sit down with your child, play, do activities. Your playtime will be your cooking. You'll say, go bring tomatoes from the fridge. Go and bring the salt dabba. Do you want to put salt? And in fact, you won't believe children as young as 1.5 years can engage in household chores. You know, that is the age they learn imitation. So when you're sweeping, you tell your child to take a cloth and mop the table or the sofa or whatever it is. Engage your child along with you, along with the activities you are doing during the day. And you know, that will kind of bring your burnout down, because you don't have to take out separate time for cooking, a separate time for washing your clothes, a separate time for doing other household activities, if you're able to train your child to do it along with you. All right. And they in fact enjoy that, and it's a really nice bonding period as well. Okay, Triguna ji, hello doctor, can you give some tips on anger management for kids within 6 to 8 years old? Yes, kids 6 to 8 years old, like I already said, anger issues are predominantly because they're seeking attention. So it's not because they're angry at you, it's because they're upset about something else and they really want your attention. So instead of punishment or yelling back at them or asking them to stop being angry, try to figure out the cause for the anger, right? You look at what is the antecedent. So here there's a B, C, right? You find out the antecedent. You look at what kind of behavior the child has, a temper tantrum, an anger outburst, a crying episode. You know, many times kids cry when they're angry because they're not really able to cope up with the frustration. So it doesn't really matter what kind of presentation it is, but look for the cause and look and treat the cause. Don't tell your child, you're an angry child, do not be angry. In fact, many times it also works to tell your child, whenever you're upset or whenever something makes you get angry, just run to the kitchen and drink 10 sips of water, come back and tell me what you were angry for. Or, you know, tell your child, count from 10 to 1 backwards. And many children can actually do this. And I've seen these kind of relaxation strategies also work in really young children. All right. Gauri ji is asking, there are many people who are doing online sessions like coding for 6-year-old. As of now, not in front of the team. She loves to play. Yes, ma'am. I absolutely agree. Let them enjoy their childhood. Doesn't really matter whether they learn coding or they don't learn coding. If you're really interested to put your child for coding classes, I think you should respect how much of screen time is permitted by the experts, and probably only exposed to such things after 8 or 10 years of age. My girl loves to go out. If we tell her COVID, she doesn't understand. So how to make them understand? Rupa ji, I have actually had a lot of interactions with many parents during the COVID time, and parents have really gotten very creative. I had a family who said, you know, my child likes Narendra Modi very much. So we told him, Modi uncle has shut down all the shops. So unless Modi uncle opens the shops, we can't go out. Then there was another family who said, COVID is flying everywhere in the air. It's a big insect which will catch you, so we can't take you out. So whatever kind of stories through which you can help your child understand, you must try to use these strategies. Many times you cannot make your child understand completely as well. It doesn't really matter. Keep reinforcing the fact that there is corona, you can't really go out. Maybe you can go to the terrace and allow your child to play, or take cycling just around the house and come back, because all the time staying at home is also really not good, and it's really frustrating for children as well. Malini ji is asking, my son is of 7 years old. He's finding difficulty in reading, shows restlessness when it comes to reading time. I got his assessment done, All reports were normal. Sometimes he says, Akka reads so fast, even I want to read. Malini ji, I think even if you have previously gotten an assessment done, it's possible that something might have been missed. If there are no complaints from school, use some of these attention enhancing strategies which I mentioned earlier. It will help. But if the school is also complaining, it means your child probably needs a reassessment and to look at what exactly is going on. If you're saying there is difficulty in reading, we also have to look for any of the learning issues which can happen at around 7 years of age. So it is necessary for us to look at all these things. Thank you, ma'am. Wonderful session. Thank you, Shiv Shankar ji from Supriya. Thank you, Supriya. How to treat 7.5-year-old boy who recently started back answering, even without clear reason. He's totally not obeying after so much of instructions and is knowingly irritating younger brother, even if he loves his brother. So, Ansi, you're answering your own question. He is irritating his younger brother, even if he loves his younger brother, because he needs your attention. So, give quality time, talk about his emotions, understand what are the reasons and which are the provoking factors for his back answering and anger issues, and I think you can figure out your solution. I really feel bad after scolding my kid 4-year-old at times. Yes, Jack, like I said, they won't remember. So try to divert them from one particular situation. Many times diversion really works, or make them forget about it, ignore the complete situation, and it can work wonders. So at 4-year-old level, yelling really doesn't work. So you don't feel bad about it, because it's okay. All of us are learning through the process of parenting. We were not born or not taught in school or college, or any of our postgraduate degrees did not teach us about parenting. So there's no way any of us can be experts in parenting. So don't worry about it. If this year school did not reopen, do you recommend the child of 5 repeats the class, or he or she will be ready for the next academic year? Shruti, I don't think you should repeat the academic year. Through the year, work through some of the age appropriate strategies, especially because your child is 5. I think you are able to do some basic things at home. Work just on those things, and I think your child will be able to do it. Please give some tips for working mom to keep the children engaged. Yes, if you're a working mom and a working dad together in the same house, try to see if you can finish some of your work before the child wakes up or when the child is sleeping during the day. If the father can engage the child when the mom is working, teach your children to do some of these activities like coloring or spending time with storybooks or playing with household available toys and kitchen material, and see if they can do that when you're attending calls or when you're actually having to work from home. If it's possible for you to get support from another family member like a grandparent, that will really be very helpful for your children. Hello, doctor. My kids get very angry at least once a day, shaking with anger for small things. How should I help her? Saranya, like I said, ABC is what you should do. Understand why your child is getting angry, when your child is getting angry, and look for the cause of the anger rather than only focusing on the anger itself. So there will always be a trigger. Figure out these instances of trigger and see how you can deal with the antecedents. My question, Chaitra says, my child is 22 months old, does not sleep for more than 3 hours at a time at night. Even during the day, he sleeps very less. How do I know my child is not suffering from sleep deprivation issues? Chaitra, if your child is not cranky during the day and is able to play well with good enthusiasm, good energy, eating well, very joyful during the day, then I think your child is getting good amount of sleep. Many times, even when the children are 22 months old, because they're not completely dry in the night, they kind of bedwet in the night at around 22, at around 2 years of age. It can happen that your child is waking up because the child passed urine, or maybe the child is hungry. It's okay at 22 months if the child is not sleeping at a stretch for 3 hours. Some kids sleep, some kids don't sleep. That's okay. This is the only thing which you have to look out for about your child's daytime behavior, which can tell you if your child has sleep deprivation issues. What to do if kids are stubborn and back answer, which disturbs us? Dr. Rashmi, like I said, figure out the antecedent. Don't focus on the behavior of the child, which is what comes through. Look for the cause of the stubbornness. It can just be as simple as attention seeking behavior, and can be as complex as school bullying, problems with friends, anxiety, depression. It can be anything. So just go back and look at what is the reason which is causing your child to be stubborn, and I think you will be able to figure out the solution. If the school does not open this year, what we need to do at home so that they will not become idle. Like I said, have a normal routine, give them age appropriate tasks, keep them physically active because they can't really go out. Engage them in a lot of household activities, make sure that they're joyful and happy. The whole world is having this issue. It's not as if only our children are going through this. Every single country, every single child, it's a global problem which is going on, probably an incident which will happen only once or twice in one's lifetime. So we are in a state of a pandemic, which is a big deal. So it doesn't matter if the schools are closed, and we all are having to go through such difficult times, because we are all doing this together, and we need to support each other during this situation. So don't worry, just make sure that they have a routine, empower them and keep them happy. So that's what you should probably focus on. Ansi says he's academically good but not liking us. Give more attention when any other kids come to home. Ansi, again, you're answering your own question. Your child needs more attention, probably. It is attention seeking behavior. How to motivate a child who's intelligent but unwilling to study or hates studies? Priya, you should look for why the child is hating studies. First of all, did the child have a bad event in school? Was it like he got shouted at, or she got put down in front of the classroom? Or does the child have low self-esteem? Is that why the child is not interested in studies? Look for the reason. Tell your child a lot of motivational stories, not about, many times this is what parents do, they say, when I was a child I did this, when when your father was a child he did this, we worked really hard. Many times, because of the gap in the generation, that's the generation gap as we call it, children can't connect. So you give them practical examples, something which is relevant to the current times. Read material from online, look at blogs and how other children are coping up. Tell them motivational stories which are relevant to the current times, and help them out, rather than negatively reinforcing the whole situation about studies. All right. Professor Umarani says, actually my son is 12 years old. Sometimes he says when we play, some words or action is hurting. How to stop them without hurting or losing the relationship? Ma'am, be verbal about it. State facts. You tell him that if there are words which is hurting him or hurting you, please be verbal about it. Be verbal about it in a loving way so that you don't hurt him back or he doesn't hurt you back. Always maintaining trust is the key here, because your child is now turning into an adolescent and it is a very, very important period. Building trust is really necessary. Does a messy house have an impact on child mental development at the age of 3 to 6 years? Shruti, if the messy house is because your children are playing and their toys all around, no, it does not impact. But it's also necessary for you to teach your 3 to 6 year old child to put all things back in place. So these are like things which you do, like I said, as part of the household chores. You teach your child to clean up the house. Yes, you can play for as long as you want, but after you're done, you'll clean up. But when you clean up, mommy is going to help you. So don't worry about it. You help them also, so that they feel like it's a fun thing to also put things back, right? So it should not feel like you played, so it's a punishment, or, as a consequence of playing, you kind of have to put things back. Not like that, but more in a supportive manner. But if your house is messy itself as a whole, it is not going to affect mental development in a big way. But definitely it will kind of impact disciplining, the way the child is going to be when the child becomes much older. So it's always good to be more clean, organized and disciplined around the house. All right. Most of us want to make our child talk about what happened in the school. What should be our approach? Just ask your child, what happened in school today? Did you enjoy your day? Was there anything fun which happened which you want to share with me? And as you get into these kind of positive conversations, your child will also tell you the difficult part. So don't jump in and say, what happened in maths class? Did you have any difficulty? So the moment you ask in a negative way, the child will go on a defensive mode. So don't do that. Probably ask more open-ended questions like, how was your day? Did you enjoy your day? Or something like that, to start a conversation so that your child will be able to open up. How much sleep is required for a 3-year-old? In the night, at least 8 to 10 hours of sleep. And if your child is used to daytime sleeping, 1 to 2 hours in a day is fine. As a 3-year-old, Manasa, if your child is not sleeping during the day, that is also okay. But if your child is getting at least 10 hours of sleep in the night, then I think that's good sleep. Valanmati says, my kids are 3.5-year-old. Yes. Valanmati, I think it's because they're also a little hyperactive, which is why you're having so much of burnout. I would want to discuss this again with you, and want to understand about your family situation, the current support system you have, so that we can design personalized strategies. All right. How to motivate 8 to 9-year-old child who's intelligent but unwilling to study or hate study. So Priya, the same strategies also apply to 8 to 9-year-old child, which I discussed just some time back. So I think that will be helpful. Kumar says, thank you. My son is 7 years old. He finds difficulty in making friends and is more self-centered. Mr. Kumar, I think it's necessary for you to look at why your child is not having friends or having difficulty to make friends. Because if the child is having social interaction issues, this is something which needs an evaluation. But if it's something because of his shy nature, or because he is not really confident of approaching other children, then probably you should train him and do it for him a couple of times so that he can become more confident and do it in the future. All right. My daughter is 2.5 years old. What should be the distribution of physical versus mental activities per day? There is no particular answer to this question, Ms. Rashmi. I think it depends on the capacity of individual child. Even as a 2.5-year-old, there are many children who love sitting down and doing activities like coloring, browsing through books, helping parents in the kitchen, peeling vegetables, and all of these kind of activities. There are some kids who are more physically active, where they love running around and playing hide and seek, cycling, and doing these kind of things. It should just be a balance between the two, not really necessary to focus too much about one particular aspect. It's fine. It's fine if you have a good balance. Shruti, thank you very much. You say you got amazing insights. You're welcome, Shruti. Maximum screen time for a 10-year-old, less than 1 hour, Dr. Rashmi. Less than 1 hour is what is recommended. And I think if the child is less than 12 years, then definitely less than 1 hour is what is recommended. My daughter, who's 3.5, talks to herself, does role play of what happens in school. Is this okay? Yes, it's okay for a 3.5-year-old. It's okay even till 5 or 6 years of age. As far as your daughter's social communication skills, interaction with other children, and all other activities are normal. All right, typical development. If your child has typical development, not a problem. Thank you, ma'am. Had a nice time. Good presentation. All right, you're welcome. Saranya, you're welcome. In the current COVID situation, would be advisable to skip an academic year? Not really. I think I have discussed strategies, Ms. Sunita, about how we can handle and how it will affect the child. So I don't think you should skip the class which has gone past, but maybe do age appropriate things at home as well. My daughter, 3.5-year-old, does bedwetting. How to stop it? Ms. Kavita, I think it's necessary for you to look at why the bedwetting is happening. If it's still primary bedwetting, as in your daughter has never been dry in the night, then she needs toilet training in the night. So probably there's something called as an enuresis package. All right. So you have to follow some of these things, like not giving liquids at least 3 hours before bedtime, making the child go to the bathroom before bed, just before going to bed. And maybe if your child is bedwetting at, let's say, 12 o'clock in the night and again at 4 o'clock in the morning, then maybe at those 2 times you make it a habit to carry your child to the bathroom and make your child do it in the bathroom, so that your child gets used to not doing it on the bed. It's okay for a 3.5-year-old to be trained like this. They don't generally wake up completely from their sleep. Try all of these things. If it really doesn't work, then please contact your pediatrician, or you can contact me. My daughter is 15 years old, but she was not talking to her grandmother in a friendly way. Miss Veena, I think it's because of her adolescent issues. Just sit down and have a nice conversation with her and explain to her why it's necessary for her to be friendly with her grandmother. You also try to see if you can talk to the grandmother and build some kind of a relationship between the both of them, because many times this happens because of clash of ideas. Grandparents are really, they have lived their life and they have a particular way they have lived their life, and they really have difficulty adapting to the current generation. But at the same time, the current generation is not able to understand the perspective of grandparents. So it's always better to talk to both of these people and try to see how you can help your child out. Last question. My younger one is 5 years old. My elder one is 13. Younger one is becoming very cranky and is having fights all the time with the elder one. Ma'am, I think you should see why your younger one is doing this. She's a 5-year-old, so yet again you see that it's just a temper tantrum. The crankiness might be because she's at home all the time, or she's not listening to anybody because she needs that kind of extra attention which she's not getting. So please look at what is the cause for this kind of an issue, and see how you can help your daughter. If any of these behavioral strategies still does not work, you can get back to me. I can help you with it. All right. That ends the question answer session. I'm just quickly going back to the chat section because I can see something here. All right, there's issues about screen time, question answer. Thank you very much. Last question I'm taking: how can I enhance vocabulary of 2.5-year-old daughter? She speaks 20 to 25 words only, but understands and follows all instructions. Dr. Rupali, please get her evaluated to see if there is expressive speech delay. She might need more aggressive home-based speech stimulation. Reduce her screen time if at all she's having any screen time. It's really very necessary to stop screen time because that impacts a lot on language development. Have her around you, and have her around family members who are constantly having a back and forth conversation with her. Teach her to join two words and express whatever she wants, and see how you can help her. All right. Okay, I think that was the last question. I really had a wonderful time presenting today, and I think there were a lot of good questions, a lot of good interaction even in the beginning of my session when we started. I really thank all of you for making time to be able to attend this session and listen to me. I'm grateful for this session organized by Motherhood Hospitals for giving me an opportunity to be able to deliver this to all of you. I'm happy to help in any way. You can get back to me. Please send me an email or a WhatsApp. I prefer being contacted by these two methods because I might be busy during the day at the hospital. I will get back to you definitely by the end of the day if you send me a mail or a message. Don't worry if I don't pick your phone. That might just be because I would be busy with something else. All right. So we'll end this session for the day. Thank you very much for your attention, and have a nice day, and have a safe time staying at home, and enjoy your parenting journey. All right. Thank you, and have a good night. Ending. How do I do this?